Welcome back. Now, teachers across Kenya have defied orders by the government to return to work in a move to demand higher pay. The strike has paralyzed learning in public schools. Teachers demand a 50 to 60% pay hike, and the government says it has no money to pay more. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta says for the government to meet the teachers' demands, it will be forced to raise taxes, borrow more money, and cut on development spending. Teachers, however, argue that Kenya's governments have failed to deliver on a deal reached in 1997 to raise the pay. Kenyatta dismissed this, saying that the deal has been met and Kenyan teachers' pay was higher than others in the region. Now, for more on the teachers' strike, Wilson Sossion, Kenya's National Union of Teachers Union Secretary General, joins us on the phone from Nairobi. Mr. Sossion, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you.
Now, let's start with that point. President Kenyatta says the government cannot afford to pay. Is that a valid argument?
Yeah, it's a very mischievous statement indeed from the government, and we believe the president is misadvised. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 grants workers the right to fair labor practice under Section 41 and right to collective bargaining agreement. What is in contention is the collective bargaining agreement for teachers for the period spanning 1st of July 2013 to 30th of June 2017. And we gave a memorandum of demand. We were engaged in discussions that were fruitless. And because we could not agree, the matter was escalated to the court, and it's the government that took us to court. The courts have since adjudicated the matter and given a ruling. We do not understand why the government, the executive arm of government, cannot respect the court ruling. The 50-60 that has been given covers a period of 4 years, and it's a phased-out process which we do not think the government lacks capacity to do so. It does.
Now,
more especially if it sees loopholes of corruption, which the same government has admitted via the State of a Nation address by the President to the National Assembly, and credible reports indicating that Kenya loses over 137 billion in terms of tax evasion.
Now,
so really what we are talking about is a take-home of 17 billion per annum for all the teachers before taxation, which by any standards of our economy is modest and guided by the cost.
Yeah.
We think it's affordable.
Exactly. Now, Mr. Sossion, you know, the president went to pains yesterday, actually, addressing the nation and saying the teachers of Kenya earn way far higher than teachers from the region. What do you make of that kind of argument? Whoever prepared the statement for the president was doctored towards painting teachers in very negative light, even in terms of when you compare Kenyan teachers with Uganda and Burundi, Kenyan economy and Ugandan economy are not the same, and Rwandan economies are not the same. And if we have to do comparators, we'll even compare salaries of presidents and salaries of other state officers who take home millions and thousands of shillings compared to teachers. We are looking at the practical sense of compensating teachers within the capacity of our economy and based on the consumer price index and based on our domestic situation. The issue of comparing Kenyan teachers with other nations within the region, indeed we read it as mischief. Now,
and they didn't bring... the truth of the matter is Kenyan teachers are not the third best paid in Africa.
But
lower than that.
We're talking about, if you were to compare, I suppose you could also be, you could compare what Kenyan members of parliament, for example, earn in comparison with members of parliament in other parts of the world. Does the government explain to you why other people are paid so much?
Kenyan members of parliament are the second most highly paid in the world. And if we talk about the president's earnings, number 20, the world of really, why are they covering what teachers are struggling to earn and cooking mischievous rankings when they are covering their own rankings? The truth of the matter is the state officers who are listed under Section 260 of the Constitution public service, whether it's in the police, in the prison, in the entire public service, in parliament, at the top. The take-home is immorally used.
Now, very quickly, is there a meeting point here? Can you have a kind of a meeting point with the government at all?
No, we are not refusing a meeting point because we could not agree in 26 meetings. They asked us to go to the social table for negotiations in 26 meetings.
All right.
Despite all our patience, they were unable to agree with us. First of all, they granted us 50 to 60% salary award, which made us to scale down our demands. Then later on, they withdrew the same. And when we called out a nationwide strike, they took us to court. It's not us who took them to court.
Okay, we will continue with this. We'll continue this conversation as long as the strike is still on. Mr. Sossion, thank you very much. Wilson Sossion is the Secretary General, Kenya National Union of Teachers.